Inheritance tax could be scrapped if the Conservative Party wins the next election. This is the promise that Rishi Sunak is considering to convince the British public to vote for him in the next election. I'm a chartered accountant from London and I help people deal with finances and tax. Watch this video if you want to know more about the potential change. I will analyze inheritance tax in terms of pros and cons, how much money it generates, and its impact on the economy. Rishi Sunak is not exactly having a great time despite being the first Asian Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. Although it's not his fault that the economy was given to him in its worst possible state, his political party, the Conservatives, are to blame for it for the simple fact that they've been in power for many years. Rishi Sunak is failing on a lot of his old targets that he had set for himself. Therefore, he's thinking of a new one: abolishing the most hated tax in the country, and that's inheritance tax. When it comes to inheritance tax, it's increasing every year with record-breaking tax collection around £7 billion. 1 in every 20 people who die in the UK are subject to this tax. So it applies to a lot of people. I understand the arguments on both sides to support and to abolish inheritance tax. Look, generational wealth is a great idea, but at the same time, it's a huge disadvantage for people who don't have it. And once you've reached a level of wealth, it is extremely unlikely that you will lose it because you will live in a wealthy area with other successful people, with a network of people who have the same level of wealth, and you benefit from sharing the knowledge. People are likely to pay taxes. Government will take those taxes to reinvest them back into that area to provide good public services, education, healthcare, effective policing, and business opportunities. In summary, you live in an area or in a system or a network of people that is designed to keep you wealthy and give you the knowledge to acquire even more of it. So it sounds great to be born rich, but at the same time, it is somewhat unfair to people who are not born in wealthy households or people who don't live in a nice area with a lot of opportunities. The argument that supports inheritance tax is that it takes some money from people who are wealthy and it gets reinvested into deprived area where tax collection is not enough on its own to invest in that area and its sort of public services. Creating fairness in the society is a noble idea. However, what is happening right now with inheritance tax is the exact opposite of this noble idea. Wealthy people are likely to have good accountants who will help them protect their assets, tell them how the system works, and how to benefit from sort of tax rules to legally avoid paying inheritance tax. Unlike the typical wealthy families with multiple streams of revenues, investment portfolios, investment properties, some of the people who are currently facing inheritance tax, they have average salaries, and the most valuable asset they have is their family home. And the only reason why they are subject to inheritance tax is because property prices have increased to a point that family homes can now exceed different inheritance tax allowances. This the main tax-free allowance of inheritance tax was set in 2009, and it has been fixed until 2028. So for almost 2 decades, there is no increase in the tax-free limit despite the increase in everything else. And a lot of these people who are at risk of losing their family homes, they don't even have accountants to help them understand the rules and implement a tax planning strategy. The argument that inheritance tax creates fairness in the society, I think at the moment is a flawed argument when people are at risk of losing their houses. And, on the other hand, people who are supposed to pay inheritance tax, they have very good tax planning structures in place. There's one more advantage that I can think of is that people, later in life are encouraged to spend money because of inheritance tax. And that's purely based on a large number of conversations that I've had over the years with my clients about inheritance tax. People mostly sort of, where there are no kids, because usually, a lot of people naturally would like to leave assets for their children. But, having no kids is sort of a, growing trend. Or if for any reason they don't want to give their wealth to their kids, they will look at the tax rules. They will realize that they will lose a lot of their wealth to the taxman, and that acts as a motivator to encourage spending. And what happens when there is more spending? The economy grows and it creates wealth for everyone. I don't know for sure how much this helps the economy, or what level of spending gets impacted by it, but I have seen this in my experience to act as a strong motivator for people. However, even if inheritance tax goes and gets abolished, I don't think it's going to discourage people from spending, because of the simple fact that you cannot technically take your money with you. So I fully support the potential abolishment of the inheritance tax, because in the grand scheme of things, and if you look at the overall tax collection, it does not generate a huge amount of tax in comparison to the headaches that it creates for families. The government should either scrap the inheritance tax or increase the tax-free limit to at least £1 million per person. I hope you have found this video useful. If you'd like to stay connected, please don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. I make regular videos, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Thanks.